We are live. Welcome in, traders. How are we today? Good luck, good luck. Let's be patient. No reason to take anything unnecessary. Just be looking for good setups. Make some money today, huh? How's that sound? Make some money. That's what I'm looking forward to. Let's make some money today, huh? Be patient. Find a sexy setup. Market's just ripped up since, technically 3 p.m. yesterday. We've just gone completely one-sided, so we'll see. We will see. I think we're going to get a bit of a pullback here, and could be around this high where we initially died yesterday. Yeah, we went all the way back to market open. And now we're right there again, so really big price here. Let's see how the NASDAQ handles it. See how the NASDAQ handles it. It's a pretty big price. Pretty big price, not gonna lie about it. Market opens here in 2 minutes. 2 minutes now. If this 161 could hold, it would be beautiful. Would be somewhat interested in this price where we have been unable to get above. Obviously, yesterday we had the really big rejection from it. Sold off all day. Overnight, we ended up getting there around 3 a.m. and also had the reversal. So, depending on how we open here around this price, might be interested. And there's the market open. Straight down for the NASDAQ right now. Right off that previous high there at the 160s. Still like this area for a short. I think now we just got to wait for a retest of it. I'm actually going to draw our line out so I don't have to keep doing it. Very supported area here. Very supported area here. Let's see what the bulls think about it. Almost willing to just take a chance and take a short here at this line, but ooh, Bulls have been in control for a while now. I think we are going to give it a whirl here. I think I'm going to wait for this to get swept. Wait for that to get swept at the 163s there. Give it a chance. Want to try a short here at these top of this ranges. Obviously, yesterday we sold off from it. Overnight, we got there at the 3 a.m. Might wait for this to actually break at the 170s. Wait for a little trap. And then go for it. See it trap above the 170s here. Might be interested in a short. Overnight high, or London high, I mean. Get a trap above the 170s. I think we could be looking in for some lower prices. See what the NASDAQ wants to do. Plenty of time, plenty of time to make good decisions. Just being patient here. Want to make a good, we have the pressure to take good trades today. I've been selling my trades early. I'm not doing that today. I'm going to find a good spot and actually hodl. Partially want to see this overnight highs. Yeah, just gonna be patient. I mean, and selling down in the 100s now. We have the VWAP at the 60s. Kind of looking like a failed breakout at the moment. Wouldn't mind a short here to 46 to look for the hold to be held at the top there. I think we're going to try one here. I want to see this high get swept, the overnight London high. And I'm really interested in this short. Was interested at these 46s, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I want to see this overnight, this London high be swept. Just so that anyone that's been holding since London can't be holding anymore. And then if we get a sweep of this price and then a rejection back into it, we're going to be playing short towards VWAP, towards this trend line touch. First 8 minutes to market. Very choppy. Trying the bottom of this opening range now. $46 short would have been gorgeous, it looks like. It's hard to short this preemptively with the London highs right there. As you can see, we could come get it at any moment. See what the buyers are actually interested in here. If they want to push this price higher, they will. London high at the 70s there. I would love to see us push into that price and then a rejection back into this level. Trying the 60s now. Sellers are right here too. This is obviously that price where we died from yesterday and overnight London. Ideally, like I said, we get a test into this price, a rejection, and come back in. Want to see them try it here. And there's the push into the 70s now. See the strength of this. See the strength of this move. Ideally, we get a push back in below this now. To the 70s, about 80, so about 40 points. They're at the 178s, 180s. Decent hold by the buyers. Sellers are obviously filling orders here, but they held it above that price. That's the London price. The sellers can push this back in with conviction. It'd be very good for a short. Otherwise, we gotta be patient. Ooh. Trying the 190s now. Trapping buyers here. It's a good area to trap some buyers above these highs. Like, oh, we're going for the breakout. Let's see if this is an actual breakout. If we get pushed back in, it'd be a nice little trappy trap. Basing above the line at the 180s right now. Trying the 90s now. Can I get to 18,200s? There it is. Nasdaq's finding some buyers. Into the 210s now. Slowly stretching up there. First 15 minutes has not even been set yet. We are 30 seconds from the close of the first 15-minute candle. Nasdaq's trying the 210s here still. Getting a little pop into the 20s. Carried into the 30s now. Nasdaq finding some support into the 40s now almost. $244 to 102, so it's 140, so 120, so 220. Wait, 240, 140, also 70. So around this price again. All right. As every now, we're going to be looking for a pullback into around this price. 170s and look for a long if this is what buyers want to be showing us. We have some obvious upside targets. Buyers are showing some strength. Wait for a healthy pullback. Set up some structure. Take a stab at it. We'll see here. Might be looking for a little pullback towards these 170 prices. Hopefully we get some decent structure, healthy little healthy retracement, and then ride this thing with a breakout if that's what the Nasdaq wants today. $15-minute range is open. Interested in a pullback of this 170s if we can get it. EMA is curling pretty aggressively, so it might not be an entry that we get. We're going to be buying at this line here, and hopefully we can get a pull. I want to see the EMA. It's interesting that the EMA is so aggressively curled, though. Nasdaq's into the 240s now. Finding some upside. Trying the EMA now. Trying the EMA now. Nasdaq's at the 230s. Had a pretty healthy push. Now slowing up a little bit. Waiting for a pullback into the 70s. If we don't get it, then going to be looking for, not sure, probably short later on. Nasdaq's at the 8 to 220s right now. Might even get a pull towards the VWAP, honestly. Into the 200s now. Only thing I'm noticing slash trying to be aware of is the fact that we could get a VWAP pull. I'm actually going to take this order off. I'm going to take off that order. Depending on how aggressive VWAP keeps curling here, I think that's going to be our entry. Look for a spot for price to come in contact with the VWAP. Nasdaq's at the 200s at the moment. Currently about 40 points from that London high. Trying the EMA in the bottom of it, 218. Nasdaq's trying the 200s again. Failure to find some buyers here will push us back towards that London high. Nasdaq's trying the 200s. Will it push below? Four minutes left for the hourly here. Nasdaq's struggling below the EMA for the moment. I want to find a good spot to time this. You want to see this retest, this 170s area. If it leaves without us, then it's not for us. Otherwise, we'll be looking for a short later on. If it does give us a retest of this 170, we will take a stab long. I want to see the VWAP keep curling because that's where I'm going to also try along. So. Nasdaq's trying a little breakout here. Will it get it? At the 220s, curling on the EMA, breaking out of a bull flag. Trying the 230s now. Pushing to the 40s. 1 minute till 10 o'clock news. I think we have some news. Pushing into the 50s now. There's the breakout. Will it hold? Into the 50s. Buyers are going to want to see this stick. Otherwise, could continue the other way now. Nasdaq to the 250s. Still right at that breakout price. Into the 60s now. Will it find continuation? A little resistance there at the 60s. Back to the 50s for the moment. Price kind of just grinding higher. Price kind of just grinding higher now. I don't mind this for a short opportunity. Try to push this back towards the 70s, maybe lower. Currently a little hard to jump in front of these bulls, but see what the EMA offers here. Getting through that would be pretty bearish. Might be one more leg on the table. Morning, Saucy Man. Love you, buddy. Getting some reps in. Stayed studying. I love it. Want to see price fail to break out above these 60s. Could look for a little push back lower now. The hourly candle that set in is pretty bullish, though, so might not be trying to fight it, but wouldn't mind getting the reversal on it. See what price does here. We're currently forming a bit more of another bull flag. Price is trying the 60s here. And there it goes to the 65s. It's trying to break out to the 70s. Looks like it's going to continue. Failure to break out to the 70s, it looks like. Back to the 50s. I think we're going to try a short here. It's a tough spot to short, only because momentum. We've been going up one direction here. There are upside targets that are possible. Good reaction off the EMA. Was interested to see if that was a little weaker. Strong, though. This is cool. Buyers are supporting this. Into the 75s now. Trying the 80s. There's the 80s. Here might be the breakout. We obviously have the gap close at the 380s. And it's a very V recovery at the moment. Patience. Patience pays. One leg, two leg. Trying a third leg here. Just going to be patient until the sellers start showing themselves. Otherwise, no reason to jump in front of this thing. Once the sellers show themselves, we will be hopping in with them. Play some momentum. Counter trend a little bit, but NASDAQ up 2% this morning, or today. We've gone straight up since the open. We've been going up straight since yesterday at 3, really, or when we bounced. Just gone directly one directional. I think these 380s are the obvious liquidity if we do start ripping for higher prices. Another 100 points from here is not crazy for the NASDAQ. Offering no pullbacks is a little ludicrous, but we'll see here. Into the 290s is going to carry to the 300s. Is it going to carry into the 300s? There it is. Now 80 points from this overnight close on Sunday, or this little gap that was created on Sunday. Will we get continuation? Price is slowing up a little bit at these 300s. Price slowed up a little bit at the 300s. Will we get continuation? Those 380s is an obvious level. Otherwise, we're looking for a push back down now. NASDAQ hasn't really offered anything for a pullbacks. Not offering anything for a pullback at the moment. Just going one way. Slight resistance at the 300s there. It's a couple of sellers getting in. Trying the EMA now at the 280s. Every little dip has been bought aggressively, so I want to see how this plays out. Sellers have not been in control today. If this price can come back up to VWAP, it might be the long. If VWAP can come up to the 70s. Price is dipping now into the 70s. That 300 was the resistance level for the moment. Price dipping now. 300s was the resistance for the moment. EMA is curling at the 113s, about 60 points from where I'd like it to be. If it lines up with that 170 level, we're going to be taking a long at that price. $300 is the level. We're trying back to the 60s now. About 40 points from the high. How far will this little dippy go? View up about 55 points from where we would love it to be. Nasdaq trying lower. Can I get below these 50s? Nasdaq push from the 300 there into the 245s. Like I said, this VWAP coming in with this price would be a really beautiful entry for us. Almost be willing to take a short to 65s as well. All right. I think we're going to take our first trade of the day here at these 270s, 280s. Look for a little short. Want to get a pop into it. There's the 267s. Can we get a little bit higher of a pop now? We're trying one here at the 80s. About 9 points from being filled there. Just need a little pop in our direction. About 5 points from getting filled there. Just looking for a trace into this 80s and then a continue lower. Buyers are currently in control. We're playing counter trend with this, so be cautious. High a day is going to be our obvious stop. Could just be on the wrong side of it if it goes quickly here. Looking to see this high hold break. This previous range. Want to see sellers be in control at this price. Back below the EMA is what we're looking for. A little bear flag set up. Like I said, buyers are in control today. We are counter trends, so just be aware of that. Kind of feels like we're there on the wrong side of that right now, so. Hoping this 300 level can defend us. Our stop at the 305s. Might just give it another point or two just to go wick out that top, unfortunately. It's about $600 we're risking here on this trade. I want to see the sellers show themselves at this price. Back to the EMA would be very good for us. Below it would be even better. Strong reaction out of here won't be very strong. EMA is going to be that price that needs to be defended. Or that will be tried to be defended by the bulls. Breaking through that would be amazing. I want to see the sellers show themselves here. Otherwise, probably just be a quick trade. Don't like that we're basing above the EMA. Want to see the sellers get this back to the EMA and below it would be ideal. Hanging out in this range is not good. If buyers start finding some support here, it will move pretty quickly against us. That's okay. Holding to see if this price can hold. If it doesn't happen on these next couple candles, it probably won't be happening at all. We'll just flatten for a small loss. If the sellers can't get this below the EMA, it's pretty bullish. Price is flickering around. Here's the prices now. Gonna want to see that give up. Otherwise, we're gonna be, you know, again, if it's holding the EMA here with a little bear flag set up. Really wanted to see this break down into there now, so. Don't want to see this find the bottom. Want to see sellers push this. I like the price. Want to see sellers get some momentum. Struggling to get below those wicks is pretty bullish. See how this candle closes. Gonna want to see the sellers show themselves. Gonna want to see the sellers continue to hold this down. Otherwise, we might be on the wrong side of it. Getting above the EMA is pretty bullish there. Come on, NASDAQ. See the sellers show themselves. We're flickering right at these prices. EMA is going to be the obstacle. If we get below the EMA, we're in a good spot here. Trying the EMA now. Below it, we don't want to see it hold. We want to see this crack. Want to see it crack and continue there. Trap some buyers for this breakout. Struggling right at our price. I want to see the sellers be able to keep this momentum. Giving it up now will be bullish. Trying the EMA. If they are able to hold it, that will be for the bulls. It's not a terrible close. I want to see this be able to break through this EMA now. Supporting the EMA will be against our trade. If we can give up the EMA here, we'll be in a pretty decent spot. Looks like they're trying. Let's see some continuation now. Breaking below these 70s. I want to see this get back towards these 50s where the price was previously supported. Don't want to see this wick. I want to see this continuation with some. The bulls are going to hold. I mean, the bears are going to hold it. They're going to hold it. I want to see this go fast. If the bulls are going to hold this, they're going to hold it fast. I want to see it move. Don't want to see this kind of hang around these prices. I think if this does continue to break through these 50s, what we're really going to be looking for is closer towards this VWAP touch, opening range-ish. If this can continue to break down, we're going to be more looking for this VWAP touch. I want to see the bears take this thing lower now. Trap some of those buyers that were going for the breakout. Don't want to see this wick that much. Obviously, buyers are still having some control at these prices. Closer towards these 50s would be better for us. Helps where I'll consider break even. The EMA's curling. That's good for us. It's another obstacle to hold down price here. If this is where we're going to be going, it's going to hold from this EMA. We are counter trend, so we're not looking for the like a massive move here. Just something that we can work with. I want to see this break now, NASDAQ. Come on. Get closer towards those 50s for us. Those 50s is much more attractive. It is in a buyer's market, so we got to just be cautious of that. At any point, these wicks can just be turned right around. Closer towards these 50s is where we're going to put break even on. Forming a bit of a holding pattern still. We haven't broken out of a range yet. I want to see the EMA continue to support this sellers. Getting a pop above the EMA back towards our price would be really no good. See what they try here now with it. Sellers have to defend this EMA push if we're going to get continued lower prices. Again, we are on the counter trend today, so got to be cautious of that. No reason to get out of this trade, though, as long as we can push back on this EMA. We want to see the seller support this price. Defend this move that the buyers are trying. I want to see the sellers defend this move. Hold it below the EMA. If they're able to defend and hold it below the EMA, we're in a good spot. Our price is looking like the turnaround spot. Could potentially consider adding if this does break below this low one more time. If the bear is able to hold us below the EMA, consider adding at this price at the break of these 50s. Want to see this? Don't want to see this wick though. Nice little close there. Let's get a close. We're going to consider adding to this on a close of that break. Get a little retest. We're going to add. We're going to add here for a contract if we can get a move. Bring our break even lower. We are counter trend, so we have to be cautious of that. Below these 50s is in a good spot for us though. Almost got added into our second position. There's our second position now. So now we want to see this EMA be defended one more time. We're now going to move our profit a little bit. We might get EMA touch. I'm still hoping for it, though, because it's above this 50%, we're going to probably trade more closer for this. I want to see the sellers push this down now. This is going to be the interesting price. Facing above this could be bullish. Again, we are counter trend, so we need to be cautious of that. Our stop loss is now going to be moved down because we are in a second contract. I want to see the sellers push this price off the EMA. Strong closure here. Don't want to see the buyers be able to defend these 50s, which they have been. These 50s are going to be the spot. If the sellers can get through here, we're looking decent. 20 seconds on this close. I don't want to see the buyers be able to wick this and hold the EMA. EMA is now going to be the spot. I want to see sellers getting filled here. There's above the EMA now. I want to see sellers push this back. Show that you're defending this move. The buyers are trying to defend these 50s again. If you guys can defend that, it would be huge. I want a strong closure on this candle. I want to see that the sellers are really still here defending these moves. Again, we are counter trend today, so buyers are the more aggressive pair at the moment. I guess this stop should really be above this low, but I don't want to risk 1,000. I want to see this get continuation. Below this EMA is going to be where we're looking for. Above it, buyers are showing control. I want to see the sellers push this down now. Needs to be pretty aggressive. Needs to be pretty quick. Need to see the sellers push this thing down now. Needs to be pretty aggressive. If the buyers keep wicking here, we're going to be probably looking to flatten this position. Wasn't the move I really wanted to see off that second break there. Holding the EMA is bullish. We have to be cautious of that. We're on the other side of the trend today. Want to see this EMA give up by the sellers, but if they don't, then that's going to be the trade. Last chance it looks like here. Last chance for the sellers to show themselves. EMA is curling. I feel like we might just get top ticked out of this, and then it might show its move. These 50s being defended second time was the issue. It's gonna be up to this candle. Want to see the sellers really get this back to the EMA. Below it would be ideal. Don't want to see any wicks. If the sellers are gonna hold this level, they're gonna hold it now. Otherwise, we're gonna be out of this trade. Take a small loss. Very close to getting wicked out right there. Very close to getting wicked out right there. Back to the EMA. And still finding some support, it looks like. Sellers are just unable to hold it down today. Sellers are just unable to hold it down today. Might be taking a pretty decent sized loss here because we did go double contracts. Well, we actually added into our position. Want to see the sellers defend this EMA push. That would be ideal. Show some strength here, sellers. Defend this price. Show some defense to that move. These 50s are going to be the area no matter what we do at this point. If they're able to get this back below the EMA, that would be very good for us. Obviously, our price is hanging out at that area as well. Holding the EMA is not good for us. Want to see this give up now. Unless it's going to, otherwise it's going to move pretty quickly away from us, I think. It's either going to move pretty quickly away from us or the sellers are going to defend this EMA move. Let me zoom in really quickly. See if I want to adjust this this stop loss at all. I don't know. I don't really love that. If it's going to hold, it's going to hold. I want to see the sellers push this thing. Otherwise, it's going to hold. Yeah. It's very tricky price action. Buyers are in control today. I think we're just on the wrong side of it. We tried to go counter trend. It was okay. We got a decent move. But we're probably going to take a little loss here. Or not really so little, but take a loss here. Yup. Here's the loss. Because we added to our position. Tough trade. Really tough trade. Especially if this is the fucking top. Like, what is that? Price action, NASDAQ. To give this up like that is crazy. And then just to go back the other way. Like, fucking God. And it does feel like we are literally the top tick there. All right, NASDAQ's getting the breakout now. Into that 300 area. Tough trade. Tough trade. We had a good spot. We got a good reaction, so then we added to our position and then ended up taking the full loss from the add. So it's a bigger loss than normal just because we were actually 2 contracts in there. It feels pretty painful. It's more just frustrating because, dang. Oh well, it happens. It's trading. I already checked to make sure everybody took the loss evenly. They did. So probably take one more trade here, find a decent spot. And that's gonna be it. NASDAQ is buying. We're finding higher prices, so don't know that there's a reason to go against that trend. If this fails to break out of this 300 and back into it, we're gonna try short again. Yeah, I know, but that's what we're gonna do. That's what the strategy plays for. Look at this move from 3 o'clock yesterday at the 17,700. So we're up 600 points. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. We're going to take one more trade here. Find a good spot. We were in a decent spot there. We were up a couple hundred, up a couple points, but then once we found more support, the buyers showed themselves. This 50 was defended twice, and once this 50 was defended stronger, we went all the way up. So that was the play there, and that's just how it is. Now the next idea is, where is this thing going to turn around? I think 380 is a pretty clear liquidity grab this thing could be pushing for. Obviously the gap closed right above that, around 400. Yeah. Price is still at these 310s. Back in under the 300s now. Back under the 300s now. If we actually can base below these 300s and then take a little retest, I'll try a short again. Otherwise, this might just be continuing, like I said, to that 380s level. We did get, price was supported these 50s twice. So 18 minutes till Europe closes here. Price is still holding above these 300s. Failure to break out of this and push, the sellers show themselves and push back below the 300s. That'll be a pretty decent indication of where we might be heading. Price is at the EMA here, juggling. Hourly candle, we've already exceeded the breakout push, so at any point we could start seeing this thing, you know, counter trend. This last little push here for the bulls on the Europe close was, you know, that's what we seen. It's unfortunately what ripped our faces off. Price is building another structure here, another flag above the EMA, basing above 300. It's pretty bullish. Can it hold above these 300s? Can it hold above these 300s? It's trying. We have about 15 minutes till Europe close. Price is trying these 315s. Since 3 o'clock yesterday, we've just gone completely up. This was like yesterday at 3, we were at the lows. And now we're up 600 plus points since then. So, gonna be patient. That's why we took our short. We tried we were profitable here at these 50s, but ended up getting broken back through. Gave back at this break of this high. Now NASDAQ's basing above the 300s, which we were hoping to be held. So now we're going to see if this can push back below the 3s again. If these buyers are exhausted, then we're going to continue. Otherwise, they're showing themselves here. What price are we at? We're at the 320. Let's go see what the 320 is on the hourly. It's not much. So 380s definitely feels like it's in play here. NASDAQ just stretching, finding higher prices into the 320s. There's the 330s, looks like. The day to buy longs. Just a day to buy longs, it looks like. There's another push into the 30s. These 380s feel like they're right on the table. $380s feel like they're on the table. 380s will obviously be that gap close from Sunday and a complete V recovery. So I think at some point today we're going to get this VWAP to line with this 170s, and we're going to get a dip into that, and that's just going to be the long of the day, I think. At this point, I've already lost a trade trying to counter trend trade this, trying to bring this thing back towards VWAP. We lost that, so I can't take another short above these prices. Maybe once this 380 closes. So I guess in the meantime, we're only looking for longs, and it's just hard to long this thing when we're this high up, right? So patience pays. Don't want to counter trend trade this again. We already tried that today. We were in the rights, but buyers showed themselves, and that's just how it is. perfectly okay. We're going to find another opportunity, see if we can make back some of these losses. Otherwise, end the day with a red day and be back tomorrow. But ideally, we get an opportunity here. Like I said, maybe this VWAP curling towards this 170s area would be very attractive. It's quite a bit of a pullback now, but, you know, it might even curl to these 150s or these 240s around this bottom that was already supported before we can get a really strong move. It's the same thing as yesterday, right? Sellers had control all day, so now buyers seem like they're in control all day. And so we'll be patient. We're going to be patient here because there's still a lot of opportunity. Nasdaq's trying these 300s again, it looks like. It looks so overextended. Like, that's just so crazy. But so did she. She looked the same way yesterday when we were just selling off, right? So there's really, you just got to find your obvious targets. We just got to the 340s there. Every reason to believe we're going to go get the 300s. I mean the 380s. Nasdaq's 310s. Looks like it's going to try the 300s once again. Might be trying a long here for the 300s. It's a little eager, a little quick. I think a healthier one would be closer towards these pullbacks to the 297s. Even that is just risky as we are just so extended. But buyers have been showing themselves, so there's no reason to assume it won't hold. Break a trend says that it should. I mean, the continuation of the trend is our friend, so we're going to take a long here at these 300s if we can get a pullback into it. Actually don't love it only because this is where we were originally hoping that the price would stop, you know. We're going to go for it, though. We're going to take a chance here at these 300s. See the market defend this. Buyers have been in control. Let's see them continue to be. See them defend these 300 prices. Buyers have been in control. We want to trade with the trend. I want to see sellers or the buyers push this back up now. This 300 area is what we're hoping to see defended. Into the 290s is already a little lower than we would have liked, so we're going to be cautious of that. We want to see this back to the 300s. We want to see it supported by the buyers. If the seller is able to keep this below 300, that's going to be its own sentence. I want to see this get supported. Decent little push, nothing crazy. We're going to be looking for these 380s to trade if we do get our move. Above the EMA is awesome. Gonna put our break even on now. And let's see this continue. Hopefully it just keeps going for us. Finding support at the 300s is pretty good. Our trend is the friend today. I'm gonna make sure our profit is actually at a better spot. We're actually gonna be looking for something like that with our profit, I think. Actually 380, 378 would be decent. Want to see this hold now. Don't want to see these buyers give up this momentum. The more they can hold this momentum above these 300s, the more likely we are to get that 380 touch. And the continuation candle here would be brilliant. We got the EMA below us, or below price now, so we're in a good spot. We break high day here, we should keep some momentum going. Where's high day is at these 338s. Above these 340s, we should be set to these 380s now. This breakout is going to be the challenge, right? We have 5 minutes till Europe closes. You want to see the buyers keep supporting this 300 price. We're at the 320s. Above the 340s, they're extremely bullish to those 380s. Let's see if they can continue to support. Trend is the friend. Want to see this keep getting squoze. Trying the EMA now. This is we're gonna be where we want to see some buyers defending, especially if they're looking for those higher prices. EMA is gonna be a big spot. Decent defend of the EMA there. Let's see a closure and some continuation. A little doji there. I don't love that as much. I want to see a little bit more stronger of a close, but I don't hate it yet. Still defending the EMA. Above these 300s is extremely bullish. It's getting closer towards the time that we can stop kind of predicting range extension. So I might just end up taking this trade here if we can't get a push above these 340s. If we can't get a push above these 40s here soon. There's the EMA touch. Want to see this defend. Want to see the buyers push this the other way now. If we're going to get continuation, it's going to be soon off this EMA. If it's going to get continuation, it's going to be off this EMA, and it's going to be soon. Can you show where you would put your stop loss? If I wasn't break even right now, I'd put my stop probably closer towards the bottom of this breakout candle, like a 150 if you wanted to hold some money. If you were willing to risk, I'd be even below this, around this bottom here. I'm going to keep my break even on, but I want to see this continue now through these highs. A wick here will be dangerous. I hope that helps you, though, Nachi. Again, if you're willing to give up some profits, it'd be closer towards this low. If you want to save some profits, it'd be bottom of this candle. I'm just going to be trailing break even. There's a push now. Let's see this continuation. Strong little move. Strong little move. Want to see this continue up to these gap close now. No problem, Nachi. Now let me just take a quick gander here. Are we going to be trading for the gap close? So this is our hourly. Actually, I'll just do it on the minute because that's what I see. We're trading for this break here where these two wicks were, which is a good spot. If we wanted to go for the gap close, it would be closer to that. I don't know what we're going to exactly target right now. 380s is the that 380 price is the most obvious first target. 378. I want to see this continue. And now that we got another breakout candle, about to start being here every day. I like the way you trade. Appreciate you, Nutchi. That means a lot, man. Now that we got another breakout candle here and you wanted to continue to trail your stop, you could put it on the bottom of this, on this breakout candle. It's obviously a little risky because EMA is right there and price is coming, but we'll see what happens. We're looking for the gap close though. Today would be, the gap close price is, like, what did I just say? Let me take a peek. So this was the Sunday gap close, so 420s roughly, about the 420s the gap close, so about 40 points higher than where we would be at right here. So 420, it's an option. It's an option. I probably am going to just take these 378s, but if you guys are in this and want to hold for higher, you could. We're trading with the trend. No reason to get out of it. We did get a breakout. We should see some continuation. It's going to be probably pretty slow price action. Just, you know, not moving quick, but I want to see the EMA get defended here on the previous breakout range. So around this 330 area is where EMA is going to line up with price, and we'll either get an extension, a move towards our direction again, or, you know, we'll see. Waiting for the next leg up here. Trying to find these buyers supporting this EMA. If I had two contracts, I'd probably scale out at these 78s. This is going to be the double top. Short from 49 off the big volume candle there. So Timothy Neto right there, who's in the chat. Great trader, better than I am. And he's now short at these 49, so be cautious of that. I'm gonna stay in this though. I think we're gonna get a close of this gap. I want to see this continuation. I am gonna start trailing our stop though. Keep some profits in this. This could turn around at any moment. And like I said, the next spot to do that is below this breakout candle, where the buyers were defending before. I want to see this continue into this potential gap close. Buyers are showing themselves. They've been here all day. Let's see some continuation into the 50s now. Want to see this continue. Don't want to see this keep flickering around these prices. Sellers are stacking in orders here. All right. Trying the EMA now. If buyers are going to defend this, they're going to defend it. If not, we're going to push through. I want to see the buyers to defend this EMA push. We're at these 340s. Above the 50s would be pretty bullish. Closer towards those 80s where we're targeting. Decent little reaction there from the buyers. Push above high day now would be a continuation. Sorry to be counter trading you, T-Nads. Well, actually, you counter traded us. You got in on us. Want to see this keep going here. Going to keep trailing our stop now to the low of this break. Here's a break of high, hopefully high day here. If it goes, it should go quickly. Otherwise, it's going to stay in this range and be an opportunity for the shorts to load. Here's a 54 touch. Let's see some continuation into the 60s if this is going to move. Yeah, you did, you dirty doggy. Let's see some continuation here. Price is stalling, so not a bad spot if you are trying short. Want to see a breakout candle here. Another little strong candle to the upside. We're trailing our stop now. I'm targeting this close of the gap close from Sunday. Here's a 50 touch. Let's try the 60s. Here's a 60s pop. Let's see some continuation now. That'd be awesome. Nice little continuation into that price. I'm now going to continue trailing. So we're at least going to be flat on the day. Otherwise, we're going to be profitable if this trade does fire. Again, if you wanted to be a little bit more risk on, you could go for these 420s. The 420s is where the actual gap close is. This 380 level is these two. I'll show you. We had the overnight, the start from the overnight Sunday, and then we ended up coming back to that price here. So, yeah, that's what we're targeting at the moment. That's what we're targeting. Let's see some continuation now. Nasdaq's pushing. Into the 60s. Buyers are supporting. Yeah, I'm outie. The candle I got short off was similar to the 930 candle. Yeah, that big pull. I want to see this gap close now. At these 365s, about 15 points from our target. Probably could hold this for the 420s. In fact, I'm gonna try something else here. I'm gonna go put these at the 400s, and I'm just gonna trail our stop loss. So we're gonna lock in a win, but not sure when this thing's gonna turn around. I think the 380s could fire. I really do, but I want to see if the if that gap close is gonna close. Did I get that 78 touch? No. This is where our profit was. I know Tim's screaming at me right now because really, if you're in this trade and you're trying to manage this correctly, you shouldn't be moving your break even or your profit. I should be leaving this lower and targeting something, again, still targeting this close at the 400s. So we're going to leave it here for now. See what happens. This would be about 100 points if that does fire. Buyers are showing themselves very strong. 378 is where we were originally targeting. I'm going for the gap close now, though. I want to see this gap close. $371s. Let's see some continuation. We're so extended, though. I'm actually going to keep this at the 78s where we were. We're going to just go for the 78s there. Price looks like it actually might be trying it now. Finding some flickering. Gap close is the 420s if you wanted to hold that. I don't hate it as much as yesterday just because we are so extended right now. But yeah, we are extremely extended right now, which is why I can't really go for the gap close, even though it makes a lot of sense. I'm just going to go for this obvious candle liquidation at these 878s. See if we can get it. It's about 10 points off the NASDAQ right now. If we continue to build structure here, though, I do believe the 420s isn't unlikely. 420s is the gap close. These 378s that we're targeting is just the 2 wicks. EMA is now curling. We're gonna bring this up a little bit more now. Bottom of this breakout. Locking a win, or we're locking in a bigger win. NASDAQ's trying now. 71s, about 6 points off of our profit. Can we get a flick? It's building structure here. I actually believe the 420s is in play. It's just hard to do. It's hard to go for it, knowing that this is like we're just extremely extended. And you can see price is struggling to just close even that last little wick. But do you have IG? I have an IG, yeah. Tyler Cam, same as my name, but I don't post my trades on there. It's actually more like a fitness page. You want to go to my TikTok? I post all my trades on there. Obviously my YouTube, like and subscribe. If you subscribe, I post all my trades every day on here too. And yeah. I don't really post on my IG though. All right, the structure is making me believe that the 380s is in play, or the 400s. I'm gonna just take the 380s just because it is really, we are extended. NASDAQ, how come you couldn't just give us the last couple points? You know, I think I asked pretty nicely. I think I'm a pretty good asker. If this continues to build structure and hold above this EMA here, I am going to be going for the gap close. Because this is, yeah, we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for the 400s. Is that the 378 though? No. Okay, good. I would have been upset if that was the thing. Let's see a push here, NASDAQ. 75s now. See another push here. 420s is what we're really going to be for the gap close. I guess right below 400s would be pretty sexy. A push here above the 75s, 78s. We should be Valhalla. And I'm going to trail our stop. So either way, we hit our profit as long as we do get this pop now. We're at the 74s. Price is really struggling. You can see we've kind of gone sideways. We're super extended. Move our profit a little bit more now. I want to see this push. If it's going to go, it's going to go off this EMA. If it's not, we're going to be right where we're at with it. Here we go, NASDAQ. Trying down to the 75s. 76s. Lots of selling here. Lots of selling pressure here. You may just get break even. Hoping that this continues. Looking for that much without room for a pullback because your stop is sus. Yeah, my stop is sus. I was hoping to just forget 378. I was hoping we are just going to get another little breakout candle there, T-Nads, but you right, buddy. I don't like the way price is just going sideways here. I want to see this actually be able to push now by the buyers. Above this area where the sellers have been shit-tacking themselves. Pretty decent close if you're the bears. Here we go, NASDAQ. Make a move for me. 372s. 74s. Every time we're getting up here, we're getting kicked right down. Every time we're getting up here, sellers are here. Did we even get the 78? Yeah, we did. So I would have been out of that trade. All right. Well, every press into these 70s is being held down by the sellers at the moment. So I don't think we're going to get a quick push if it is going to move. It's going to just continue to kind of fluctuate like this. We're going to have a chance of getting stopped out if this doesn't actually kick. We're basing above the EMA. He told me my stop is sauce. I know it is, Tinaz. I just hate it. I know it is, buddy. Well, we did get that the liquidity grab there at the 70. Did we even get the 78s? No, we never even traded the 78s. So, still think it's on the table. If this Nasdaq turns around here and finds some more support, if these sellers aren't able to push it down, we might find some continuation into that gap close. 420 is the actual gap close. We're trying to pre-fire at the 20s, at the 400s. We're going to go for the 400s here. Whole number 400 touch. I want the Nasdaq to try these 75s. We haven't been able to break out of this little range here. Every time they get in there, the sellers push it. There's a little pop. Can it hold? No wicks here. Don't want to see any wicks here. There's 78s. That would have been the initial exit of our trade. Yeah, that might have been the it. Want to see that continue. We're going to be trailing our stops just to lock in the day here. That was the push there to that 80. That was the wick that we were actually trading for originally on this trade. We're now going for the gap close just because it is right there, but that's what we're looking at. It looks like we're going to get little chopped cheese. Really slow price action today. Wick back into this price is pretty dangerous for the bulls. Doesn't exactly feel like a price close to me. So, I mean, a gap close. Very wicky. Price is stalled here for the last couple minutes. We're extremely extended. I might just close it here, people. Just take the trade. Be happy with the win. I know we could be getting this gap close here, but if this candle is going to be our deciding factor. If we get a strong close here, I'm going to hold. Otherwise, I'm going to close this and be happy with it. See how this candle closes. Trying the 80s again. This is going to be a big push. If they're going to go, they're going to go. Here's the 80s. This is where the previous wick was. We don't want to see this wick again. Now trailing stops. Don't want to see this turn around. I want to see this candle be the candle. Any wicks from here, we're outie. Any wicks from here, we're outie. I want the volatility back. Me too, Tinaz. I never even got to really take advantage of it, bud. Here's the 80s. Can we get some continuation? I like the out at the top of this resistance, but this action is strong, so never know. Left my house off. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I was hoping for the gap close here, but if we fail to break out of this wick, I mean, that's a pretty decent close there. EMA is above us now. I'm just going to leave this. I like where our break even is below the EMA. If they're going to hold, they're going to hold. If not, we're just going to take a small little win and be happy with it. Gap close is still on the table. We're super extended, but I feel like if it does pop, it's just going to be like one of those really quick things. Through the 80s, we should be set to the 400s here. Through the 80s, we should be set to the 400s here. We're at the 81s, getting above this wick. Price is very extended, like very, very, very extended. This is a longer day than normal. Usually I'm off the charts by now, but because we're in this trade, we got to hold. 380s. Nasdaq just slowly grinding higher. These are the type of days that are hard to like join typically, which is why we just added, and Now we're just hoping. Hoping for the gap close, that this move is extension to the gap close. What strategy did you trade? I have a couple different things that I'm looking for. It's usually pullbacks to imbalances, pullbacks to obvious prices. Traditionally, like yesterday, we just missed a monster. Hold on, I want to see this close on this. I want to see this EMA bounce. But yeah, you can see from my TikTok a little bit more of my entries. It's a little bit of a discretionary trading. Like there's not the exact, I don't have an exact like, you know, ICT strategy, nothing like that. It's just time spent. You'll start seeing patterns and come on NASDAQ, push now. And a big thing, I think, the biggest thing, Wanuchi, that I look for when I'm trading is, it's just underrated, I think, is just finding the trend, like going with the momentum. We don't need to be right every trade, right? So all you have to really do is have a decent amount you're willing to lose, like a consistent stop loss. Take a trade at a level. If you get broke even or you get stopped out and you lose on it once, maybe even twice, well, then the trend's obviously going the other way. And then you can just, as long as you join them and then hold long, like this, for example. I took a short earlier trying to get in on this move. Hold on, this might be it, this trade. Yeah, this is going to be it for this trade, I think. All right. Let's make sure everybody has that. Everybody took the winner. Well, we didn't get the gap close, but we had a decent little offer there. We were looking for more. Happy with what we got. But Wanichi, what I was talking about earlier is I took a short here, right? Breaking, or where was it? It was right here. Took a short here, got a decent move my way, ended up adding to the position, and then when we got stopped out, I took a loss, right? So I was trying to short, took my losses. I ended up turning around for the long and held. I'm trading Topstep, doing the eval 50K. What should I risk per trade? 50K eval, it depends, my dude, because when I'm trading the 50K eval, I'm usually willing to risk per trade. I'm not trying to make it multiple trades, but that's the difference. Like each person has their own strategy. What I'll look for is I'll risk 1,000 and I'm looking to make 1,500. So I'm trying to pass the eval in one trade, or that phase of that day in one trade, and I'm willing to lose 1,000 to do it, and then to still have another attempt before I hit that 2,000 red to get that the gap close. Again, make sure your winners are just longer than your losers. If you're able to hold your winner longer than your loser, it looks like we might have just got stopped out here before the break run for the gap fill too, but it's okay. Yeah, if your winners are just bigger than your losers, especially in that strategy, then you're gonna be okay. And that was a pretty long trade. Actually, I want to take a peek at that. I'm pretty happy with how long I just held that. 20 to, so 9, so it's like 29 minutes. Couldn't give me a 30 minute, that's crazy. So yeah, that was a decent little trade. It wasn't bad. Looking for the breakout. Ended up getting stopped out with a pretty weak spot. Yeah, Wanuchi, T-Nads is asking you in the chat there. He's the man. He can help you out too. He helped me get here. Really extended. Like just incredibly extended. If this gap doesn't close, well, if it does close, we're going to be looking for a trend the other way. Might be trading a little longer than normal. Normally, I'm already off here, you know, 9 to 11. I'm going to hang out a little longer today. Look for a spot. I don't mind the 486 on the day, but ooh, should have been a thicky little snicky of a day. Price is kind of struggling here at this 80s, where this price previously was. Again, this is why we were targeting these 78s in the first place. So if this does start turning around here, this could offer a pretty decent little quick move. Risking 400 per trade, huh? 2 years. Solid amount of time, bro. Keep stacking that time and you'll get so good. I mean, it's literally about experience, exposing yourself to the situation and the emotions of what this is. 400 per trade, though, it's tough. It's tough. It gives you a tight little window. I mean, I'm currently trading with 500 stop loss, but how many lots? I'm assuming one. T-Nans, probably risking about 20 points. Maybe micros. You trade micros, Winichi? I'm sure everybody took that trade. 49, 49, 49. They did. Good. They did. What is that? Might be getting the top here. It's hard, though. It really is. And we're just... From yesterday's bottom at 3 o'clock to now is just unreal. Depends. Around 3 to 4 micros. Yeah, it's healthy. So about a half. So I guess your stop loss is... The $400 risking 3 to 4 micros is much more. I mean, that's... What is that? 4 micros is 8. So you're risking... Same thing, about 50 points. Not bad. I also like a 50-point stop, but when I trade with one mini, that 50 points is the 1,000 that I'm willing to trade, and then I'm targeting the 75 points to pass the combine. Once I'm actually funded, I treat it a little differently, but hell yeah, Juan. Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother. Kind of want to take this short. Now that we technically closed that price where I was looking to see us get to, and now that we're kind of turning around, I think it's a decent spot for a short. I think the Bears are going to be looking for a spot to participate, right? No doubt. So Tim says basically your stop loss is not as important as your profit. You just need to be willing. You need to be making more and smashing your losses with your winners, and that's how you can be profitable. Which, I mean, we just got a decent example of that, right? Like I was down 800. Was able to take a trade for 15, and so now we're heading in the right direction. I think it was actually only 13 because we got stopped out. But T-Nads, I think I like this for a short, buddy. It's obviously hard to be counter trend, but there's a lot of options here. Lots of options here that I'm considering. It's past my time I usually trade. Like I said, 9 to 11 is typically my time. But I think there's an opportunity. Yeah, if I wasn't down, I would have taken the short at 80. Yeah. The retest of that price was pretty. And now I just got to assume it or hold for the break. Got to hold for the break, huh? I would have tried that EMA too if I... Ugh. It's just tough because we didn't even get the gap close. So it's like... Yeah, didn't even get the gap close, so it's like hard to take a short here, feeling like this bull flag could just fly us to fill the gap. Hey, what is this? Well, if we do lock it in here, that would be, we're one winning day away from a payout. I was hoping for a more than just, 2,500 out of each account, because it kind of leaves me at a weird spot if I do take it out and then I only have 2,500 in the accounts. And there's the break. So yeah, that 80 short would have been beautiful, and then the EMA short also would have worked so far, it looks like. I don't think I'm gonna take another one though. I'm just gonna lock in the winning day. Again, I gotta just OCD. Gonna lock in the winning day, I think, there. Really happy with the trade. I obviously would have loved the gap to close there, but... And there's the break. 10 that short at 80s would have been so beautiful. Start 5 from 60. You won't. You get it? Because 60 is the EMA that I was hoping to as well. Yeah, she already went on us. She already went on us, buddy. And now this bottom could be held. Same way I got cucked out of my other one. Without an obvious reason for it to die. Dang, she already went without us. Alright, friends. I'd love to participate in this and trade this counter move. Try to get a short, but I'm just going to call it there, I think. Lock in the day. Lock in the winning day. Price is at a spot where we could find a bounce. Otherwise, you could really still get a short at these 55s if we did get a nice level. So you guys find levels and then trade with the trend when it hits that level. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good point. It's a pretty simplified way to say it. Trade with the trend, like right now how this level broke, and then you can just find another previous spot that price was supported from, which we had a hard time resistance at these 50s for a while before it ended up breaking out. And so now that we're on the other side of that, on an EMA touch, you could get a short here, potentially. Let me draw a trend line really quickly. As you can see, price is definitely starting to turn around here. If we get another test of this EMA, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna try a short. Even safer would be back to the highs of this, but I'm gonna try a wick short here if we get it. It's actually funny that you are a short trader like that, T-Nads. We're going to try one here. Try one here at these 53s. Almost got filled there. Oh, NASDAQ. It's actually painful if we don't get that fill. If I'm shorting this, I would be stopping out above this previous spot here. So around the 63. So risking about 20 points. I'm still trying to short this. Still trying to get in. I want to see this fill us. Don't want to see it go without us. Oh my god. No way you didn't just fill us, NASDAQ. I feel like some of my other accounts just did. That's how freaking close that was. Trying to get a fill here. It's looking a little tight. Alright, we're in. Don't necessarily love the way that just gave us an entry, but we're going to see here. I want to see this get turned around off this EMA. I want to see it be pretty quick, honestly. If the sellers are going to be pushing this price down, they're going to push it fast. Otherwise, we're just going to be on the other side of it. I want to see the sellers push this down pretty quickly off this EMA touch. I want to see it be fairly quickly off the EMA here. So I trade 15 lots with a 10-point stop. I'm always on the other side. T-Nads is a fantastic trader. I want to see this EMA hold. This bear flag is structured. I think the buyers, sellers do come in here. It's going to be pretty quick. I want to see them come in here. If they do, I feel like it should be pretty fast, pretty aggressive. I want to see them counter this move. Back to these lows would be awesome for us, around these 30s. I want to see it try now. Come on, NASDAQ. The longer we fluctuate these prices, the less ideal it is. I want to see this close. I want to see that wick. Continuation on this drop would be pretty decent. Not a bad little move so far. Decent close with some strength. Decent little move. Want to see this keep pushing. I'm going to put break even on now after that. And now we got to decide where we want to target with this. It's hard. It really is, honestly. I think potentially this bottom here could be something. I think we're going to be targeting the bottom of that liquidity and see what we can get here. Obviously, wherever the VWAP ends up coming up to is going to probably more likely be where our trade actually is. But if this can keep going down now, we're in a decent spot. Tim does have an IG, but he doesn't post his trades on there either. We like where we're at now. We have an potential to get stopped for break even here. But assuming that we're so extended, I want to see sellers keep pushing this down for a little while. Want to see this bear flag continue to play out. Targeting the 250s here, where price previously bounced that pretty hard. I think an even safer target would be probably closer towards this 300 level, this whole 300 number level. It's tough. It's tough to see. I mean, what would 300 look like? Another $1,000. Not bad. Breaking here would be another 100 points. Would be beautiful. Yeah, Tim likes the 350, the 300 level. The 250, I know that's where I was at too, buddy. Where it's like it'd be nice to see if we could get that bounce there, but 300 I think is the next safest. Just because it was previously supported pretty aggressively. I think what we'll do is we'll see what 300 offers if we do get a move down there. We'll see what that offers and then adjust accordingly. If we get to the 300 and it kind of acts weird, we might just take it. Otherwise, if it breaks it through, we might just target the 250. Want to see this close strong like it is. Get those reachy feelies going. VWAP feels like it's even an option, T-Nads, to be honest with you. Obviously, I can't really hold for that, but it does seem like it's an option. I want to see this keep pressing now into the 320s. 300 ops level is going to be the big, you know, curious spot. Where if they're going to hold it, they're going to hold it. I want to see these 300s give all the way up here. The 317s. I like the 300 level to break, assuming that we already found the buyer support from it. Obviously, if it does hold again, though, it would be pretty decent. I'm going to delete this out of here now. I want to see these break. 310s now. Would love to see a big candle into the 300s. Actually, I'd rather it kind of flicker around here before getting into the 300s, only because if it quickly moves into there, then the price is probably going to quickly react out. And so, no reason to panic. We're in a really good spot. Our break even is going to be protected through through EMA, another high there. So, if we do get this thing to turn back around towards these 250s for us, then, you know, we're in a really good spot, really good trade. Here's the 300s. The way that it's acting isn't terrible. I want to see it rip through, though. I don't want to see it, you know, find some reaction. There's the 300 tests. You're going to find some buyers here no matter what. But hopefully it's just enough to keep the momentum going there. Here's the 300s. See this breakthrough by the sellers would be great. 302. Under the 300s would be fantastic. We're going to get some reaction here, I'm sure. 290s, there it is. Officially, the 300 level has broken, or is being traded now. So this is where our original trade was from, right? We took our long off the 300. So now this is where, you know, other buyers are going to probably be somewhat attracted to it as well. I want to see a good reaction out of here. Obviously, buyers are trying to hold this. I don't mind this. T-Nads, I think I'm holding for the 250s level now, buddy. I have been, but I want to see this 300s be, you know, tried. We're going to probably get an EMA touch. So we can build a little bit of structure. I don't imagine it'll just die straight down for us, but if it did, that'd be ideal, I guess. But I'm assuming a little bit of structure will be built here before really giving it all up. At the 290s, below the 290s would be very good. How far left do you look? And what are you referencing? Like for my levels, or like just when I'm like trying to take a trade, like when I'm looking for levels? Yeah. It depends on the intraday. If a new day is starting, obviously I'll be liking to use previous day levels. But if we're in intraday like this, yeah, just find levels that were, previously very strong. So obviously this was a reaction level once, twice, 3, 4 times. This price has been tested 4 different times. So for me, it feels like a decent spot to be targeting. The 300s was the obvious spot, again, because that's where I initially got in. So that was where, if you are short or if you were long from here, you would be attracted to that price. But yeah, we're targeting these 248s at the moment, just because it had 4 touches previously. Yeah, for my levels, yeah. Into the 89s. This is nice. Breaking through the 80s. I'm not a fan of just the one direction. Yeah, like I said, I want to get some little structure built out here. Tim, what do you think I'm nuts if we maybe looked for even the 250s is the safest. What's that white line you have up? That's just a really previously supported price. This was where we had this breakout. If you look in this area here on my hourly, it was the bottom of this range that was kind of being supported. So here, actually, I'll move this out for you. You can see we defended this price. This is the hourly. Boom, boom. Found another support. Boom, boom, and then boom. So it's these are the kind of, spots for support you're looking for it to hold. How's our trade doing? We're still setting up structure? Yeah, it's nice. I want to see this structure break. Little bull flag. This might be an opportunity to add if you were really targeting this 250 area. We're not going to add, but it's an option. We're going to get an EMA touch, I think. If I was being ludicrous, which I'm considering, the VWAP is even an option at this point, where, we're probably going to get a pullback. It'll probably be close to these 200 levels, which just makes me feel safer about our 250 trade. I want to see this bear flag hold. If I was actually being overzealous, I would add to the position right here. Willing to take some drawdown. Can't do it. I just can't do it, but this would be an opportunity to add. Here at these 300 levels again, this is where we want to see sellers really step in here. Nice break through these 90s would be beautiful. Let's see if this was the... Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting price. If we are able to break through here, very, very clear to our profit. Otherwise, we're going to get a little bit more structure and potentially hold time. We want to see these sellers push this into the 90s. Below would be great. Obviously, the buyers are going to be trying to defend. Like I said, that was an opportunity for an ad up there. I couldn't do it, but it was an opportunity. The more structure we're building here at this whole number where the price is being battled is good for us. This is just all structure that we're adding longs into this position. Creating a nice floor. Buyers are going to be attracted to this. I want to see sellers be attracted to this as well. I actually have to go to the bathroom. at 300 level at the EMA. Very big price, lots of structure. This would be great to see. This is what we want to see for our trade to play out, right? It wasn't just going to go directly down to the 250s. The more structure that does build out, the more you can assume the play will actually be bigger. So, I mean, VWAP would be in tune there. But first, we want to see this 300 be held, this EMA be held by the sellers. See this move be defended. Trapping some more longs, hopefully. I might use this small little pullback to go to the bathroom. Longer on stream today than normal. So if you're here hanging out, I appreciate you. Hit like, subscribe. Doing it every day, 9 to 11. Want to see this 90 officially break now. Want to see the sellers get this back below that range. The push now into the 310s. My only fear is that this was kind of held. Let me draw a trend line here. So this would be a spot to consider adding at this trend line touch, possibly this level around these 30s. We want to see this hold. We want to see the sellers react to this move. Want to see sellers react to this trend line. What a move. Might be getting broke even here. Very strong move from the buyers. On the other side of it, want to see this trend line be defended, and we're not really seeing any asks being slapped. Currently finding a bid. If sellers are able to engulf that candle like that and push that back into that trend line, very attractive close. Let's find out here, about 10 seconds. Into the trend line. A little engulfing candle there. Still not the worst. We'll see how we react off the EMA. See how the buyers react off the EMA. I want to see the sellers push it right back through that EMA. That would be ideal for us. Here's the trend line still. Want to see this continue to be supported by the sellers. Pushing back into that and into the EMA would be fantastic. Good little reaction. Want to see it be strong though. Don't want to see that wick. Want to see sellers hit this below the EMA with some close. Otherwise, this might be a bull flag to break out here. Back below the EMA, we're in a very good spot. See this trend line be defended. I really gotta pee. Ooh, 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 ooh. EMA is gonna be the obstacle. Above the EMA and a break out of this trend line would be pretty bullish. Likewise, if it continues to be supported, we'll be pretty bearish for our move. Gonna find out here. Next big obstacle, if it is this EMA, is gonna be the 300s. I want to see the sellers keep this down. No wikis, no momentum. Looks like the buyers are trying now. They're trying to get back above that trend line, trying to get back above the EMA. I want to see sellers come in and support this. Can you label the bull flag? Outline. Oh, got you. Yeah, the bull flag would be right here. So it's pretty much the same trend line that we actually have drawn, as you can see. Like we kind of come up. Here, I'll show you. And we've came up, we've based around this price. Now that we're bottomed out here, this would be a decent spot for a pullback if you were trying to hop in long on this. Obviously, we're counter trend, so we're hoping that the bull flag, excuse me, doesn't play out, but it's pretty much lined up with our trend line, Juan. And you'll see that if it does break, I'll be able to demonstrate it for you. Hoping that it doesn't, though. Come on, NASDAQ. Hold this trend line for us. We're at the EMA. Want to see this break back below. Buyers have been in control today, so we got to be cautious of that. Decent little wick. Which makes me think we're going to see some higher prices. That's not a bearish close. And we are officially above the trend line now. So if you were in this trade and want to secure profits, you definitely could. I'm holding for the bigger move just because I have a goal, but that's just the thing. Pressing into the trend line and the EMA. A break below this for the bears would be very strong. If the buyer's able to hold it, well, then that's going to be their play. If the bears can get this back below the 300s, though, we're going to be in a very good spot here. Here's the 310s. Let's see a closure. Let's see a closure back to the 3s. If we do get a closure back below the 3s, I might run to the bathroom. I want to see this candle hold or close. I want to see it hold. And it looks like it is. And more wicks. So you can see this bear bull flag right here. See how we're wicking on the bottom of this price? Price is creating a nice little slope here. Bull flag. Especially being at a breakout spot. We want to see this be held by the sellers on this bottom of this wick. Otherwise, buyers are showing their direction. 300s. Haven't been able to get back below it yet. So this previous bottom that was supported hasn't been rebroken. And the buyers are showing that they don't want to yet. Closure below this trend line around these like 300s would be very strong. Another wick here would be not so good for us. Another wick on this trend line just like that is not very good for us. Very bullish price action. That's not what you want to see if you're a bear. You can see we're now trying to grind on the outside of this trend line. It's interesting. Very interesting price action. Another wick here, and we're probably just going to take this position. If we can get back below the 300s, we're in a great spot, but 300s might have been all this trade was offering. We were going to see how we handled it to see if we were going to target these 250s. At first, I like the structure up here for the 250s. Right now, it's a little different of an hold. Price is being stubborn. It's not a terrible hold yet. No reason to really get out of this until we get a breakout above. Yeah, just like that. Holy shit. What was that? Holy shit. Oh my word. Let's make sure everybody's still a winner after that. That was something. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, there's some volatility that came in for us. NASDAQ finding new prices. Finding a new bid. Holy cow. All right. I really appreciate everyone hanging out today. That's going to do it for me. Be back tomorrow 9 a.m. NASDAQ pushing to the 380s. Incredible moment. There must have been some news. Let me check really quickly for everybody. Because holy shit. Market news, come on. Why didn't you got nothing for me? Market news. Oh, okay. Well, something happened. Some information just dropped. Someone tweeted. It's not happened. Well, doesn't look like there was anything obvious. Holy shit. Holy shit, NASDAQ. Well, what an end. What a day. NASDAQ just found 100 points in 3 candles, and it's still just climbing. Gap close is officially closed now. Unreal. Something to do with China and treasuries. Yeah, I couldn't see an idea here. Oh, here it goes. U.S. Treasury Secretary seized de-escalation with China and situation unsustainable. All right. Well, I don't know how that's why that's so bullish, but okay. Well, we did our best there. Try to have a big day. We did decent though. I appreciate everyone hanging out. Like, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow doing the same thing. And if you're trading this momentum right now, good luck. And yeah, take it easy.